Today, we're going to be going over the metrics you should be measuring in your agency. The reason why it's so important to be tracking certain metrics is to ensure that everything that you're doing in your daily operations is turning out to get the results that you want. And if you are not tracking that data, you're not going to be able to physically see and analyze that information to make better decisions and to see what's working and what is not. So let's get into how and what we track for our agency to help us make better decisions and what metrics you should be tracking in your agency. We track and set up our Monday CRM, customer relation management system, so that we can keep updated data that's accurate and up to date in real time on what's happening in our agency and making sure we're measuring those metrics. So let's take a look at what Monday looks like. Okay, so when we log into Monday, we are going to see that I have a workspace here, and I called it Monday training because I do need to have information here that is not technically real about customers, etc., so that we can just use this as a learning and training session. But this workspace would be called whatever you want it to be called. When you first start Monday, you are not going to have any workspaces, and it's going to just ask you to create one. And if I show you here, you'll see these are the actual workspaces we have. We've got a marketing workspace, a couple workspaces that are private that I use to keep track of data and nobody else can see. We have a retention workspace, and then we've got a sales workspace. And these are the three things that we stay in all the time and that we work in. Our main workspace is going to have administrative stuff like team responsibilities, things we need to do, projects we're working on, so that we can keep track of those between our team members and the communication. So let's just take a look at what this has. As you can see, marketing, sales, and retention is going to be the main things that we're going to be talking about today. So just starting out, I'm actually going to start with our sales. The sales section is going to include a dashboard. The dashboard is going to take information from our leads and our sales and show us where we're at in a snapshot kind of dashboard, where you can go in and just look at numbers quickly without having to sift and roll through any other information within the boards. I will show you what that looks like in just a second. The one tracking metric that I tell everybody to start on if they're going to start doing this is to start tracking your leads. I want you to start understanding where your leads are coming from, what the status is on selling those leads, what is happening within that process. And so let's take a look at what a leads tracking system looks like in Monday, but also how we use it in our agency. So you'll see here, all of our incoming leads will come in here. This is the one place that we manually enter in our leads. Now, there are many different ways for you to create some kind of automation where you can integrate with Zapier, or if you want to create a form or different things like that, where the information can automatically come into Monday. And what will happen is that information will come in here, and you can set up an automation to notify you when a lead comes in, if it's being done automatically in a back end system. Let's say you get someone who calls in, Cars Incorporated calls in, you gather all this information, you enter it in here. You will see these are the metrics that we measure on our leads. Now, why is this important? Because we can see when the lead came in right here, the name of the lead, the phone number for that lead, their email, the type of insurance that they're looking for. Did anybody refer them to us? The person that referred them to us, what is their email? So if we need to stay in contact with them, what is the marketing source? So for example, this agent sent us this lead, and it was because of R&R's marketing efforts to build that relationship with that agency or that referral partner. And then did we pivot? Are there things that we are pivoting to? No. Is it commercial or personal? We keep track of who it's assigned to. So these are the agents, our fake agents in our agency. So Rebecca is the one that's going to be taking care of this lead. What is the lead status? How much premium have we quoted? Did we write it, etc.? Type of policy are we writing? What the status is. So sometimes we get added business. Sometimes it's a new line of business. It's not a complete raw new household that we're quoting. And then if you bound it with a company, which one, and what is the status of the sale? So what's great about this is just why it's important for you to understand how metrics and measuring them accurately are going to help you. When leads come in, I can come in here at the bottom and say, how many leads did each person on my team get? So you can look at that ratio. You can look at the ratio between how many personal lines leads, how many commercial lines lead, leads. If you do other product lines, obviously you can add that in there. Also, how many leads each person is working as far as sales. So this was where they're coming from. So we could see here easily with this data that R&R marketing is giving us the most leads out of any other source. And then we can see how many people have been quoted, not quoted. So if I change the status to no, and I change the status to left voicemail, and I change the status to emailed quote, you'll see that these numbers start to change, and just hovering over them will let us know where we are at in the status. Also, letting me know how much premium is actually out in the world being quoted. And I will explain to you when we get to sales why that is so important. And then really what I look for then is what is the ratio or the percentage of out of all of the leads we've gotten so far, how many have we closed? So if we've closed 4 out of 8, you'll see we have a 50% closing ratio, which to me is amazing. And I want to continue seeing that. What we did set up is another board called sales. So what happens is we put this information manually, or we have systems that do automatically put them in. But if somebody calls in, there's no way to automate that. So you'd have to manually put it in. However, once they are sold and we click sold, this is going to automatically, because we set that automation up. So when we click button sold, it's going to automatically send the lead into the sales board. So I'm going to click button sold. And then when we go into the sales board, you will immediately see that Pink Cars Inc. has been transferred over into our sales board. And that's going to adjust. It's going to take the premium and the information that we want to take over, and it's going to adjust the premium that has been written in our agency. Why do we have a sales board? Well, we want to be able to know per agent who sold what. We can filter out how much premium they sold if you're paying them commissions on that. We also can calculate here if you're using an easy commission structure. You can calculate and put a formula in here so the team members can see how much they're going to be making off each policy. You can also filter that out just to the agent's name and see what their total is for when you're creating payroll, or they can also keep track of how much money they've made so far this month, etc. Then we do transfer over the information of how they found out about us. So you'll see the total premium amount written, how much commission is kind of getting geared up to leave your agency and or what to pay out. Also, where are all your marketing sources coming from when it comes to sold business? And then we do have a status that allows us to create an onboarding process. That onboarding process is to message them and email them our referral program so we continue getting referrals, having them get a link to review us on Google, having them get our contact information and asking them to save it in their phones or in some type of place where they can contact us. And then finally, when we are going through commission statements, every time we get paid on a policy, we will come in here and write the policy paid date. So for me, I can go in and see, hey, there's some people we haven't been paid on. Let me go ahead and check on what's going on there. My team does not get paid on a policy unless we get paid. So it also helps make sure we have that accountability and that checks and balances, that they're making sure policies are completely going through, submitted, bound, and getting paid on commission statements. And so that way I can say, okay, these are the policies we've been paid on. These are the ones that you're going to get paid on. And this is the total amount per person that I need to pay when it comes to payroll. We have their phone number, which could be a cell number, and an email in here, because when we click onboard, there are going to be emails through Outlook, or you can use Gmail, whatever service you use. And then we use something called Twilio that we integrated through here. Super easy, very cheap to use for text messaging, etc. And so they will be getting these messages, and we will onboard them and give them a great experience of communicating with them once they've become a client of ours. So when it comes to sales, I want to see which agent is selling the most, what type of policies they're selling, where that business is coming from, what is the total premium amount. This really helps me as the agency owner and the CEO figure out where we at. So what I do is I look at this regularly. I personally look at this at the 15th of the month and then at the end of the month. And when I'm looking at this, what I'm looking for is to see that we are at least 50% or more to our sales goal for the month. If I notice that we were under this, I'm going to go back to the leads board and I'm going to say, how much premium do we have out in the world that is going to possibly close? So if we are under our sales goal at 50% or less for the middle of the month, but I do see that we have a lot of premium out quoted, the likelihood of some of that getting closed is going to be pretty high. Historically, being able to measure these metrics, I can see that we have an average closing ratio of 30 to 50%. So I can probably realistically predict that if we close 30% of this premium that's out there, I can figure out how much premium we are looking to close, and I can take a look at how much realistically predict how much premium we're probably going to be closing by the end of the month. If we are at 50% or more, I don't even talk to my team. I let them do their thing because they're on track. It really helps me be able to get that snapshot look of what's happening in our agency and not need to micromanage or communicate to my team too much. Now, if I do go into these numbers and I see we are below on our sales goal and we don't have a lot of premium out there quoted, I'm going to send a message to my team. Hey, can you guys update me on what's going on with sales? I'd like to know where we're at. Is there anything coming down the pipeline that I don't see? Or are there any efforts that we can put together to hopefully increase these? So that's why these metrics are really important for you to measure. Also, it really helps your team see where you're at without having to ask too many questions or pull reports or try to filter too many things out. They can easily come in here and see where we are at in the agency and what is going on. Who is getting more business? What kind of business we're getting? How is the status? So if I got Pink Cars Incorporated and I said they weren't quoted yet, I'd want to know why they haven't been quoted yet, or just really seeing what things I still need to work on. If I did JC Towing and I left a message, well, I obviously need to follow up with them and see if I can get them quoted. I also want to see how much of what I've sold personally as a sales producer and where things maybe fell through the cracks. So going back to sales really quickly, once we've onboarded our client and we've been able to see that all of this data is in there, we are then going to click a button to transfer this individual, Pink Cars Incorporated, into our book of business. So as soon as I click the button transfer, you will then see that Pink Cars Incorporated has been transferred into our incoming business section in our book of business and renewals board. All of these get categorized by month. Why is that so important? Well, now I can go into June and I can look at the 2002 premium total and I can predict how much commissions and how much money our agency is going to make based off the renewals that we have for that month. And this number will continue growing year after year as you continue your sales. The reason why we have it coming into incoming is because we just want to double check if there's any missing information that we need to put in. And once it's there, we can make sure that it's transferred into the month that it needs to go into. What we have done, because we have our entire book of business in here, we are able to set an automation to send renewal information automatically at a certain date, depending on when they're renewing. So they're going to be getting a text message and an email, letting them know that they're renewing, letting them know that if anything has changed, they need to contact us so that we can get that updated prior to their renewal. And if they have any questions, they can contact us. This will prompt the ball to be in their court, us doing the activities that we feel comfortable with to notify them about their renewal. And then we also have some really cool things that we've integrated since this, but this will also give you all the information that you need, what companies you have the most premium, getting paid and renewed for that month, and you can start a renewal process on here. But being able to come in and see how much is renewing for the month, what the premium difference is from 2022 to 2023, etc., is super helpful for you as the agency owner to see what's going on in your book. The other board that we have and the other metrics that you need to be tracking is going to be your cancellations. So in our cancellations board, we will then take the policy from the book of business, duplicate it in here, so you can see that Pink Cars Incorporated is in trouble for canceling. And that means that they didn't pay, or we need to rewrite them, or what is going on here. So we'll put them in here, how much the premium is due, what date they're going to be canceling, what policies, etc. All of this information, again, gets moved over. We've only entered in it ever once and just made some adjustments since that process of them going from a lead to a sale to being a client in our book of business and possibly needing to cancel or have to work a cancellation because they maybe didn't pay or something else is going on. What we like to measure in here is going to be premium, how much is actually due, because sometimes the total premium of their policy is not what they have to pay. They might just need to make a monthly payment, the date they're going to be canceling, etc. We usually have a phone number and email in here so that we can send them those automated text messages and emails and communication, letting them know their policy is canceling and they need to contact us. Once the policy has canceled, it will actually take this completely out of the book of business. So your book of business stays up to date and accurate. Also, we like to have reasons of why somebody canceled so that at the end of the month, I can go in and say, okay, out of all these people, what were the reasons they left? Were they constant non-payers? Would that make them good business or bad business? Did their business close? You can't really control that. Did somebody pass away? Was it them moving? Was it a broker change, or were they non-renewed, flat cancel? The carrier non-renewed them. The carrier's pulling out of the state, let's say. So having these metrics and understanding why people are leaving is really going to help you with getting a retention plan or understanding what's happening with the people that are leaving your agency. We also then like to categorize if it's good business or bad business. If it's somebody that's a chronic non-payer, they had one policy, maybe they've got an SR22, maybe they're not with a great company, and you put them in as bad business, then we are not going to market to them again to try to win back their business. However, if they are categorized as good business, we in our agency have a win back board where they will go into there, and we have automations and integrations set up for us to use that as a leads list to try to win back the business that we didn't want to lose and have a campaign for winning back good business. It's so important for you to be tracking your leads first, tracking how much you're selling, and tracking how much you are retaining in your agency. But in order to get leads, you've got to do some marketing efforts. So we track all of our marketing within this system as well. And here are the metrics you're going to want to keep track of when it comes to marketing. For example, you'll see here, we have a pop-in board, which for us, pop-ins, visits, things like that, they are for us to build relationships with referral partners. So for example, since we are a brokerage, we can absolutely have relationships and partnerships with captive agents who can't do commercial policies or have policies they might not be able to write. We would obviously be able to partner with them and help their clients out. And so we have a tracker here on the people that we visit, what companies they're with. Are we getting referrals from them? This could also be loan officers, commercial bankers, commercial realtors. It could be attorneys, CPAs, different people that you might work with that will be bringing in some referrals for you. We have their address here and any other information that we want to have. You can use as much information or as little information as you want. What's really great too is if you have somebody that goes out and does this type of marketing, you can then set a page here at the top with a map of all those addresses. So if we zoom in here, my marketing person can then say, okay, I'm going to be going to this zip code in this area. I have 4 people here, and they're not jumping around the entire city to go visit people. As you can see, they are broken into color categories, and they will hang out in one area per week to go out and do some marketing and some visits of these referral partners. So this is great for helping us see where we are with the people that we are marketing to, what the relationship is like. The next thing that we keep track of is we do have a referral program where we give out gift cards for quotes, and this is where we would keep track of the people that we need to send gift cards to, how much we are sending them, has the gift card been sent? So that really helps make sure that when you are going in and trying to build a relationship with a referral partner and you say, hey, we have a referral program, but you're taking forever to get them kind of their reward, you're not really reinforcing that behavior. And so we want to make sure we're not forgetting anybody, we're taking care of the people that are taking care of us, and that we do it as quickly as possible to continue their behavior of sending us those referrals. And so we want to make sure that we are tracking this. This also lets me know that we have spent $120 in this month for the referrals and leads we've gotten from these people. If we then can look at how much we've sold for that month, we can take that amount we sold and we can find out how much the return on investment really was for sending out these gift cards. Now, if you're sending out a bunch of gift cards and spending a ton of money, but not really closing sales, you're going to want to reevaluate if that's still a good relationship for you to have. And that can only be done if you are measuring these metrics. The last thing that we keep track of when we have marketing efforts is going to be the budget for our marketing and how much money we've spent per month on marketing. So you'll see here, we have the different expenses. Was it gift cards? Was it things we had to buy? If a team member goes and buys something, they can upload a file here for a receipt to get reimbursed, how much they spent, and we can take a look here at the total marketing spending dollars we have had for this month. And then we can go ahead and look at how much we've actually sold, how much commission and revenues coming into the agency. And again, we can take a look at what the profit was from what we spent to how much we actually made. So this is great for us to be able to communicate as a team who's going out marketing, what money they're spending, and for me as a CEO to easily be able to reimburse them and see that the money that we are spending is going to directly affect how much we are selling and what is working and what is not. So you'll see here what happened, where they spent the money, any receipts that we need to pull. The other thing that I really want to show you when it comes to Monday and using Monday.com as a custom CRM for your insurance agency is this really awesome tool that they have too, where all of our training gets put into Monday as well. So we have all of our systems, processes, resources, links, documents, videos, anything that we've created for training and building processes and having a systemized system in our agency all gets tracked and put into Monday. So you'll see here under the training section, we have something called a document. This is where you'll use the plus sign to add a new board, a new document, a dashboard, etc. Well, we used a new document in this. You can then create an entire outline and process and system to link all of your trainings, anything that you need, videos, whatever it is that you've created. And by the way, if you have not watched our previous video, please make sure that you check it out. It shows you how to make process creation simplified and why you need to do that and how you need to do that in your agency. But this is where you can absolutely store this in Monday and be able to track all of those things, and your team will have access to it, and it's a breeze to use. It's super, super helpful. So with that said, I want to go back really quickly and show you this dashboard feature. As you saw before, we had the plus sign and we can create a new dashboard. I created a dashboard here and I made it very, very simple. What it's going to tell you are these numbers, what your current sales are. So you can see it was 86,000. This was taken from the current sales in our agency, what the total book value might be. You can absolutely edit these settings and filter out what you want. You can have a calendar here of things that you need to do. So using the dashboard to pull certain pieces of information that you want to be able to view really quickly and easily and that you view regularly, I can go in here and see how much we're canceling, how much we've sold, how much we have in premium and leads in just seconds, as opposed to having to do all of these things and really researching everything. This lets me save so much time and so much frustration than having to go search for the information. And I absolutely don't want to go through documents and papers and ask my team or message everybody and waiting for information. I can easily go in here and check it. And so this is our system. These are the metrics that we measure in our agency, and being able to see what our return on investment is, how much sales we've done for the month, what commission is renewing, and how much money we can project to make in our agency for this month, how much business is being lost and why it's being lost. All of these things that we are tracking allows us to make better decisions in our agency, allows me to make them in real time and very quickly so that we don't continue this ugly snowball of things that are going wrong. I can actually fix them in real time. So let us know how you enjoyed this video and what metrics you are going to be choosing to start measuring first. If you are interested in finding out more about how you can get help with setting up a customized CRM with your agency, there is a link in the description to find out more how we can help you do that. And please, as always, make sure you like and comment and subscribe so that you can get notified when more videos come up. Thanks so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video.